hopefully we shall go live in a minute. It says that we are live, so fingers crossed we are.
Happy days. Hello.
Right, so this is the first FPS stream we've done in a little while. Warning you now, we may have some technical issues, bear with us. Right.
YouTube decided to change everything.
Yeah.
And broke it.
Pretty much.
Bad.
Right, so shall we introduce ourselves? So I shall go first. I am Jules. I have the YouTube channel Jules Ender. I make some short films that are usually made out of felt and fabric and stop motion, and I do various other bits and bobs around the internet. So Henry, introduce yourself.
I'm Henry. Recently changed my name to Henry's Human because no one can say Supernova because it's spelt really weirdly. I make software type videos and techie type videos, and I'm trying to branch out, but it's mostly software stuff.
And Jamie.
Jamie.
Hello, I'm Jamie Does Things. I make videos sometimes small animations, and I always forget that we're meant to introduce ourselves. So it's like, oh yeah, what do I do? FPS is one of the things I do.
Great, all right. So this is going to be a fairly chill sort of stream. We're not going to be too organised with this one because it's just one of those days. Right, so the main plan is to come up with a prompt for October. That is our goal for the end of this. So we're going to hopefully do a little mind map, assuming I can make this work. It might take a minute of rejigging some things, but hopefully it'll be fine. And yeah, that is basically the plan. So shall I bring up the mind map stuff and you guys talk whilst I do that and things move around, and I'm very professional as I do this.
Okay, things I'm thinking straight away with Halloween. Lots of it, lots of clown. People are really into the clown at the moment.
That's a dangerous one, Henry. That is a controversial prompt.
It is a controversial prompt because clown also has a double meaning, and they've stolen it from my beautiful, horrible clown man. So, what else? What else is haunting?
Ghosts.
Have you seen Scary or Spooky Stories to Tell in the Dark or Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark? Because that was... The film was alright. Some bits. So, like, it was just, like, some bits were, like, really hammy, but it was a horror film, so they're bound to be hammy. It was, like, a horror film aimed at, like, younger teens. Not quite, like, 18, but, like, definitely 15. What I'm trying to say, it was rated 15. That was really... I took the motorway and ended up down the lane. Yeah. So, what about you guys? What do you think? What films do you think when you think of this? It's spooky time of the year.
Nightmare Before Christmas always comes to me because to me that's a spooky film, not a Christmas film. But that's controversial. So
that's interesting. See, I always think the same about Sleepy Hollow. Sleepy Hollow to me is a Christmas film.
Yeah.
Even though it's like ghosts and a headless boy and all kinds of stuff.
Oops.
What about you, Jimmy?
I kind of...
Don't mind me, just messing things up. Oh no, these things have moved. Ah! Right. Okay, so basically, we've been having some issues with Google Hangouts. It's decided to not swap between who is speaking automatically because reasons. And I can't manually swap between them and do the mind map at the same time. So I need to make an executive decision as to who is going to be the main person just in the corner with the disembodied voices of everyone else. So I'm happy for it to be me if you guys feel uncomfortable with that. But I am going to have typing face. So
whilst you are mind mapping, I suggest like taking it off yourself just so it like automatically does one of us two at least, because you'll be like mind mapping like in the zone.
Yeah. All right. I'm going to just put it on you, Henry, for now, and I can just randomly swap at some point, give you guys a break, be like, there you go. Now it's Jamie who is on the camera. So, right, we're going to have Henry for now then.
So, Jamie, how spooky do you like to get around this time of year? What do you watch?
I haven't really gotten too spooky in a while, except for, if it counts, Get Out last year.
Yes,
Spooky.
that definitely
Definitely
counts.
a scary one. Mm-hmm.
It's psychological.
Yep.
That's good.
I don't know if there's a better recent spooky scary film. I always used to watch the big ones, the scary gory ones like Final Destination and Saw.
Oh my
The
gosh.
first Final Destination is a fantastic film, and then after that it goes off the rails, and just becomes, you know, torture porn sort of stuff. But before that, the first one's very good.
Thinking, is Matthew Lillard in the first one? Or am I just going mad?
I'm not sure I even recognize the name. I may recognize
the Scooby-Doo movie.
Scooby-Doo.
Okay, it just cut out a little bit. All I heard was Scooby-Doo.
Shaggy from the Scooby-Doo movie.
Okay. It has been so long
I'm
since
gonna
I saw those. Go ahead.
Right, what other films? I'm just putting
It's
a little thing on the mind map of just scary films and just filling it out. So we've mentioned so far Get Out, Night Before Christmas, and you said Scooby-Doo, so I'm just sticking that in there. What else? What was the film you said at the beginning, Henry?
It and Spooky Stories to Tell in the Dark.
Spooky Stories to Tell in the Dark.
Or is it Scary Stories? I can't remember. I like Spooky
We
Stories.
know what it is. Like, I've seen the trailers and things, so.
It's Sean William Scott that's in Final Destination. It's Stifler.
Oh yes,
I
Final
don't know why I thought it was
Destination. So if we just basically just throw out all the scary films we can think of, and we can use these as jumping off points for ideas. So I think in the Discord we had a couple that were listed. So we need The Shining, which I'm embarrassed to admit I've not actually seen. I've read the book.
Oh really? It's
I read the book, which was
dated.
really scary. I've not seen the film.
What else was suggested? Shaun of the Dead.
Shaun of the Dead. This time I will spell Shaun
May as well
correctly
go for
and
Hot
not spell it like Shaun the Sheep.
Scene of the Deed.
Shaun of the Dead.
And Get Out and It Follows.
It Follows.
I have not seen It Follows.
It is so good. It's so creepy, but in like a manageable way. Like, I'm not that into horror films. I can't handle stuff that's too intense. And It Follows is kind of creepy, but someone like me who can't take horror films really, really liked it. So it's a good film.
Just thinking, because I'm watching the stream next to me to get where we're at. Oh, well, it's because I'm 20 seconds behind, is why I'm not seeing the up-to-date bit.
Yeah.
Yeah,
you'll have to make do with
do
me
we have
just saying
It on there yet?
Ooh, we don't have It. I can add It. But everything's looking okay on the stream, is it? Just, because I've got too many things I need to be looking at. I haven't checked.
No, it's looking good.
Cool.
It has been my face for an awful long time, and
All right,
interesting.
We'll swap to Jamie for a little bit just to jazz things up.
Fantastic. I will do some talking.
It's your turn.
I'm not actually on the stream at the moment. I'm not sure how my laptop will handle it, but have we had anyone in there, Henry? Has anyone joined us?
No, there's no one in chat yet. Well, no one said anything. Is anyone?
Come join us. Say hi.
Come join us.
Yeah.
That's a haunted thing. 2 people watching, but one of them's probably me. Yeah, join us.
Yeah, I should open up a tab and bump up that view count.
Twins are scary.
Yeah,
they can
just
be.
children in general. Let's just have spooky
Siblings.
kids as its own idea. Just spooky kids.
Terrifying.
Spooky kids with the subset of twins.
Eldritch horrors.
Mm-hmm.
Food past its sell-by date. Clowns.
You would give me an awkward word to spell. Whatever. Eldritch. It's not a real world word, is it? So it can be spelled however.
Is it in the dictionary now? I wonder if it's in the dictionary. It's on Wikipedia.
Yeah.
I think that counts.
Cool. I'm afraid to like open another tab and spell check just because I might suddenly lose this tab and just show my search history or something. So, which is really boring because I've spent the day looking up academic papers. So,
just looking up geography nerd stuff.
I like how none of us can really see what's going on. Like Jules can't open another tab.
Yeah.
I can't open another tab. This is like some weird game of the circle or something.
Basically, we will work this out. We will have a system that works, but since YouTube changed everything and ruined it, we're improvising and it's not quite right. But yeah. If you're watching this back and thinking that we're being stupid because we're not using this really obvious bit of software, please let us know, because I'm sure there's something that would make this go very quickly and smoothly. But yeah. So, ideas. Eldritch Horror. Do we want to expand off Eldritch Horrors? Like, I'm mainly familiar with just Cthulhu. I'm not.
Cthulhu.
I'm not that caught up on that world of things.
Horror.
Except, why would I say that? Now I have to spell Cthulhu.
Yeah.
Cthulhu. Maybe. I have strong confidence in my spelling capabilities. We know.
I have no idea how you've spelled them. I would go for CTHULU.
I've stuck an extra H before that final U. That feels right to me.
Yeah.
But
I think that's right.
I think you're right. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's difficult to spell out loud.
Yeah.
Iridocyclitis. I missed one. This is going to be such a cursed live stream, which is kind of appropriate.
Yeah.
Curses and witches and wizards and hexes and stuff.
Spells,
potions.
Magic. So we have witches. We have potions. Spells. Oops. I can't spell spells. Beautiful.
Goblins.
Are we putting that under magic? Or Eldritch Horrors?
I don't know why that got me. Just Henry staring into space for a moment and going, goblins.
I was thinking whether or not I should say it. I don't know why. It's such a cursed word to me now. I don't know why.
How is it that we described your laugh in that one?
It's the goblin
Okay,
laugh.
that would be why then.
Yeah. Gosh. Scrolls, tombs, labyrinths.
The afterlife.
The afterlife.
All right, let's
the before
have
life.
Let's just have death then. And off that, I'm going to put existential.
Yeah.
'Cause that's a whole branch of horror.
The Sixth Sense. That's more of one of the film
yes, we definitely should have the Sixth
Sense. Has everyone seen? Yes.
If you haven't seen it, you know how it ends. So somehow I managed to see that for the first time without knowing the twist, which I think was a miracle.
Really?
I think I was probably about 13 or 14, so it was a good 7 or 8 years after the film came out. So
nice.
But then this was I feel like this is the thing, this was early internet days. You didn't have as many things that were just around in the world. There weren't memes around the Sixth Sense, you know?
So I thought it was a TV meme first before it became an internet meme. Because there was jokes in Scrubs where Dr. Cox would say...
There are fewer of them, you know? You can only have that as a reference so often, whereas... it might just be the cool thing on the internet at the moment to reference something, and just every other post you see is about that. So, yeah. I don't know. Maybe I'm just rambling. Right, spooky films.
Oh, what was that film where the people, if they saw the thing, they went mad and tried to kill themselves, and then they had to go around in blindfold.
Oh, bird box.
And was it
something
Sandra
like that?
Bullock?
Yeah, was it
Birdcage?
Bird Box?
The Netflix one.
Yeah, it was Bird
I haven't
Box,
seen
right?
it.
Bird Box.
I have seen it. It wasn't great.
Yeah.
I wouldn't recommend. As a
Yeah,
concept,
it
it was
wasn't,
great. As
but
an
the idea
executed
was
film, it was
interesting.
terrible.
Yeah, yeah,
What
agreed.
was the one? I'm gutted I can't remember the title, but what was the one where you had to be quiet? Was it just called Quiet?
A Quiet Place.
Sorry?
Quiet
Okay,
Place.
yeah,
I haven't
yeah.
seen that
A
yet. That's
Quiet
one of those
Place.
ones I keep meaning. I need it to come up on a streaming service that I have or something so that I actually watch it. Quiet Place.
I think it took me a really long time to get one of them that didn't have subtitles in Korean, and that was, I think, before I spoke any Korean. And even now, that would have been an issue.
So they had a film where you couldn't look at the monster, otherwise you'd die. And they had a film that you can't make a noise, otherwise the monster will get you or you'd die. And they had the one in Speed where the bus had to stay above 60, otherwise it explodes. So what's the next one?
The next step is one where if you smell the monster, you die. And
I am safe. It's finally an advantage. Context for people who don't know me. I don't have a sense of smell.
They kind of have that in The Walking Dead, though, where if the zombies can't smell you, you're fine. Because they work off like scent, and if you cover yourself in like zombie viscera, they can't see you.
Oh, we don't have much in the way of zombie stuff. Night of the Living Dead. I think we need the original zombie movie.
Yeah. Which was the one that the zombies were kind of intelligent, and there's this one zombie who was like a janitor who's leading the zombie army to try and retake this town off the humans, and he had a gun. And Nick Frost and Simon Pegg were in that film as well as extras.
I don't think I know this film.
I'm going to Google it. Smart zombies beat janitor with gun. Oh god damn! I'm getting a lot of dumb films. Hang on, film. Definitely wasn't Cooties. Definitely wasn't any of these.
And Henry, I swap back to you now. So.
Hello, me.
I was about to ask. Yeah.
Actually, you know what? Let's stick it on me for a bit. I'll have the burden since I'm not typing right now. So.
I am currently looking for. Is it Land of the Dead? Maybe.
Not heard of it, but very well could be. They all have such similar names, and I get really confused. It's always something of the dead, or with the dead, or yeah.
It's Land of the Dead. Land of the Dead was the one.
Cool. Do you want me to stick that in there?
Oh, it didn't have Nick Frost. If you want, yeah. It didn't have Nick Frost. It had Edgar Wright and Simon Pegg.
Oh, Edgar Wright.
Yeah. But old Nick Frost wasn't there. So it's basically like there's the Survivor outpost set up in the US, and it's kind of like there's like a class system that kind of builds where the poor kind of just got thrown to the zombies and the rich stayed in the big towers. But the zombies, of course, were kind of like, no, we used to be humans and we were just poor, and then let's try and retake it. So it's like that dynamic. It's cool. It's just very odd. I remember it was the last film I watched before I went to university because I watched it the night before, right after the In-Betweeners movie.
Memories.
In-Betweeners movie is a good horror film. List of eldritch horrors. We could do like local myths and legends. I know Cumbria's got a load of them.
Should I?
Yeah, you were going to do.
Should we have that as a thing?
Yeah.
Cryptids.
We like them cryptids.
Cryptids. What are we going to stick under there?
Me.
Henry.
Danny DeVito. Bigfoot. Wendigo.
Nessie.
Bigfoot. I'm not going to put Wendigo because that's a Native American thing. And yeah.
Okay.
What do we say? Loch Ness.
Does Supernatural get in trouble for that?
a lot of things have got in trouble, and it's sort of one of those things. It's
El
just like I'm not
Chupacabra.
sure how much it's like. You know how there's certain people on Tumblr who like to just be outraged for the sake of outrage. I'm not sure if it's that or whether like genuinely those people are upset by how they're portrayed. So on the safe side, we will assume that is not counted as a cryptid.
Yeah.
That is something different.
Until we read it more about it, let's not.
Exactly. Actually, not just Loch Ness, because that's just a body of water. We need monster on the end of that.
Scary Lake.
Is it real? We just don't know.
I've just seen the stream, and I'm so happy that you've put me in there.
Hey, you said you. That was the first one you gave, so.
There is the Yeti.
Is that not the same as Bigfoot?
There is the.
Or are they different things?
No.
Oh.
One's an abominable snowman. The other is part man, part ape.
I've been taught. I have not got the knowledge of these
He's also
things.
got big feet as
Sorry?
well. Do we have? He's also got big feet. Do we have the Chupacabra?
I did say El Chupacabra,
Yeah.
but I don't know if it got.
Things that aren't easy for me to spell.
Yeah.
Chupacabra. Like, I'm just going to apologize to everyone who I'm offending by spelling things badly.
What's she called? Tilly Tilly Bum.
What?
I beg your pardon?
Tilly Tilly Bum. It's a poem.
Is it a Teletubby?
No. Tilly Tilly Bum is like a song about this like demon that'll come at you at night if you don't get to sleep.
Tilly Tilly Bong.
Yeah, and there's a song called Tilly Tilly Bum that you sing to people to make them go.
BOM.
Cool.
Right.
All right. I'm gonna put it there. I've not heard of this, but cool.
Spelled TILITILABOM.
Yeah.
It's a lullaby.
Not bon rather than bong.
Bum, like monster. Bum.
Cool.
So it's like the lyrics are like "Go to sleep" or "Tilly'll murder you." Hang on, what are the lyrics? Tilly Tilly Bum lyrics.
I believe you.
It's all in Russian. Jamie, help.
Oh. Do you want to pop it in chat? Or...
Tilly Tilly Bum, close your eyes soon. Someone is walking outside the window and knocking on the door. Tilly Tilly Bum, screaming nightbird. He's already made his way into the house. To those who cannot sleep, he's coming. He's already closed. Tilly Tilly Bum. You hear someone nearby looking around the corner and pierces the eye. Tilly Tilly Bum. Dumb night will hide everything behind you.
Great.
Cool.
That's a
That would
lullaby.
definitely put me to sleep. I would not.
There's this creepypasta that I read ages ago. Creepypasta is another subcategory that we could have in here.
Yes.
Yes.
Slender Man. Slender Boy.
Man, I watched the film the other day. It's awful. Like not terrifying awful. It's just bad, like dumb. So what was it? Yeah, there's a creepypasta that when you're a kid and you're pretending to sleep and your parents come and check in on you and you pretend to close your eyes, but you turn around and look at the wall and wait for the door to shut and stuff like that. But it was kind of like a monster that did that. So you'd pretend you were asleep by turning around or like looking at the wall, and it would come up to the room and then write on the wall, "I can see you," and then leave. And that's like that sort of stuff, like the sort of sleep paralysis monsters. They're like, "Oh, I love them."
No. I'm not a bit. Like, sleep paralysis is not fun. No.
No, it's not. It's not. God damn it! I watched. What's the one that he accidentally got put on the LGBT section of Netflix? Babadook. I watched Babadook. That's got a lot of sleep paralysis themes in it that messed me up bad, but I loved some of the scenes in that film.
Shall I put Babadook under spooky films, or do you want to have it under creepypasta or cryptids? Where are we putting Babadook?
LGBT.
I'm not making more categories. This is getting very cluttered.
I guess he's a film and a cryptid. Oh.
Let's just stick him in films.
Yeah.
Babadook. I've not seen that. Would you recommend?
No.
you'd be Baba shook. It's good. It's just
Get out. No, you're no longer. It's Jamie now. It's no longer Henry. You're demoted from the active screen.
It's I quite like it. There's just a lot of like pretentious scenes where they're like, let's make everything grey and boring in the scene to highlight the like depressing nature of this, but it just kind of comes out as this is grey and boring. But otherwise, I quite enjoyed the film, even if it was a bit silly at times. It was quite good. Yeah, there's just what's the word? There's a word for it. It's like there's a French word for it that's like to capture what they were going for. Oh god damn it! I'm gonna Google Babadook.
To capture what they were going for.
Is it?
Not like mise en scène?
That's the one.
Oh, really? Okay.
How do you spell that?
Probably MISEENSC with a backwards accent grave. Any. Sorry. I think you don't have to be that specific, but I think that's how it is.
Yeah, and basically they did that, but made everything grey. It's like, and everything was just depressing the whole way through, and you're like, I need to make it through this film. You need to pump some energy into it, and they do that in some scenes very, very well, where they just fill some scenes full of a lot of energy, and you're like, okay, that's what I wanted. But then they snap you back into the like, it's odd. It's very, but I thought they did an okay job. But yeah, lots of sleep paralysis themes in that.
Do we have any themes emerging that anybody would like to make a prompt out of, by any chance?
We've definitely gone down the monsters route.
Yeah, I'm really digging the monsters.
It would be fun because we've had Will McDaniel on the channel before. It would be fun to do something in his sort of style, make a little monstery guy, whether or not it's out of liquid latex and all of that jazz.
I mean, I have my little boy that you gave me on my shelf.
You do. My screen's broken, so I can't tell if he's behind you right now, and we can see him.
You might be able to see. Okay, the shelf is within view, and he is on there somewhere. I'm gonna make me large. Yeah, he's there. Yeah, he's well camouflaged, but he's there. I think he's facing the books as well. He was having a bit of a light read. Been a precocious one, stomping around at night, but you know, he just wants his milk and he'll go right to bed. Where am I?
What was its name again? Was it?
I cycled through quite a few of them. One was Little Boy. I quite like Little Boy.
Yeah.
I think one of my friends wanted it Nash's Daniel or something like that. Nash's McDaniel, sorry.
His little son.
Yeah. I couldn't really stick to one. I just kept calling him Little Boy. The sweet one.
I like the sweet one.
Bringing things back.
Sorry.
I apologize. Am I still on main face?
Currently it's Henry. I've been trying to jump between whoever's actively speaking whilst I'm not typing. So
fantastic.
We've got quite a menagerie of like ideas, but I do love monsters, and I really want to go down the monster route.
All right, so let's commit. We're going for something related to monsters. So I'm gonna just make a little extra thing and just go monsters, so we can throw some ideas around there on more specific. Right? Can I move that? I can. Haha. Right. So, what kind of a prompt can we come up with that isn't just like ghosts and ghouls? But
what about the monster under my bed?
Ooh, that's definitely a good angle to go down.
To fit with the My Brother and Me theme of the year, 2019, Frankenstein teen Become the Monster.
Become the monster.
Ooh, I like just Become the Monster.
Yeah.
That's kind of cool.
Without the Frankenstein teen.
We're just casually sliding past that.
What else? Come the Monster, Monster Under Your Bed, Monsters University.
I knew just ahead of time that you were about to say that, but not soon enough that I could stop myself from laughing.
I quite like the idea of misunderstood monsters, though.
Yeah.
So, like, they're just trying to do their job, you know? They're just trying to get a good
Misunderstood monsters.
I wonder, is anybody in the chat at the moment, or anybody in Discord?
I don't believe so.
I
mean, Tuesday's not exactly a happening night to be remembering to do things, so...
Open.
So, I mean, basically, these streams exist to be watched back later, really, don't they? So,
yes,
yeah. Monster... yeah, all I can think now is Monster University, so...
Well, even so, like, monsters training to become meta monsters, better monsters is quite fun.
Yeah.
I like that idea. Learning to become a monster is what monsters have to go through. Monsters metamorphosis.
A monster metamorphosis. Now that's a mouthful.
And alliterative.
I like the idea.
Metamorphosis, I think.
I like the idea of metamorphosis in general.
Yeah.
So even if we don't use that for future,
I do quite like the phrase "a monster metamorphosis." It really flows off. It's a nice buddha kind of rhythm. You know,
metamorphosis.
A lot of quick syllables, and then what else? I'm thinking like monsters kind of living in the real world, just getting by, and people kind of see them as like pigeons or like just a nuisance. So like there are goblins under the bridge, but they're not going to bother you if you just leave them alone. There's like
people just kind of see them as pigeons.
They're just like pests. Like
okay.
Like you go swimming by the lake and Nessie's come up again. Oh, just ignore him and he'll go away. Like don't go too close because he'll bite you and you'll have to wash your hands because you'll get infected.
Urban fantasies.
Yeah, there must be a term for like. You know how like as a tourist and you go to like another country and then you're like, oh my god, this thing's amazing, and all the locals are just like, that's just a thing, why do you care? It's like that. Like there must be a phrase or something that kind of encapsulates that feeling. Like I remember we had some friends, like family friends, visiting from America, and we just went to this local pond for lake for a walk, and there's just swans everywhere, and they were just amazed that there were swans, and it's just like please don't go close to them, they will go for you. Like.
It's like there's got to be a word. There's a German word for that. There must be a German
word.
Or a Japanese word.
Yeah.
Like a German word or a really poetic Japanese one.
Yeah. Or both.
Ooh.
I'm just going to write everyday monster pests just as a placeholder and see if we can come up with something better than that. But
or an indifference to the transmundane.
Ooh,
get you. That's an essay title if ever I heard one.
I found it.
I'm just writing that down.
I found a thesaurus.
I wonder if the Germans have a word for how the Japanese have a word for everything.
They must do, right?
You would hope so. I'm gonna.
We have German friends. We need
water.
to roll them.
Water time.
Water time. Enjoy your freshness. Yeah. Like, I don't know, I just really love the idea of walking across a bridge and seeing goblins underneath, but just that being normal. That being, like, the thing that happens around here.
Yeah.
Or, like, it's like when people go to Gibraltar and monkeys steal all their wallets and stuff from the rock and just take them back to their little monkey's nest. Where do monkeys live? They live in trees, don't they?
Yeah, I don't know. Nest seems wrong, but then... also kind of works.
Yeah, I can totally see them like building twigs and putting in a tree and just sitting in there with a load of wallets. But maybe I'm just thinking of magpies and putting little monkeys in their place. Yeah, like that sort of thing. Where like people in Gibraltar would like, watch out for the monkeys, they'll steal your wallet, and everyone's like, yeah, whatever. It's like when you go to a seaside town and just say, be careful with your food, or the giant seagulls will come and eat it, and everyone's like, yeah, whatever. And then when it does happen, everyone loses their mind, and you're like, no, that's what happens around here.
Yeah.
And like that, but with monsters.
Yeah.
Like watch out, a pixie will steal your left shoe if you're not careful. Oh, it's going away from monsters, and I don't want to do that.
That's all right. Throw it out there anyway.
Just you know, like fairy rings with the mushrooms. Like you have like the mushrooms in a circle on the floor, and the story is if you stand in it, you get whisked away to the fairylands.
Yeah.
Where they like kill you or something, or like spirit you away, or they take away your soul or whatever fairies do in like yield and British law.
Yeah.
But like, I don't know what the word is for that. Being whisked away to another land, or wormholes, but fairy gates.
Yeah.
I don't know where I am.
Yeah. I'm just gonna say taken by fairies, and we'll know what that's about.
Away with the fairies, yeah.
The away with the fairies, isn't that like just an old-fashioned term for someone who's like autistic, pretty much?
Is it really? Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Okay.
I feel like it's that sort of thing that people were just like, oh no, he's just away with the fairies because he's, you know, different. That kind of thing.
I thought it was like just like spacey.
Yeah.
Oh gosh, I'm stumbling across all these things.
I could be making stuff up. I just feel it's like it's one of those things. It's like, is that a thing?
Informal giving.
It's good to think critically about our language.
Yeah, it very much is. Yeah. Giving the impression of being mad.
I'm sure Jamie is very confused. Hi.
I said away with the fairies, and it might be a bad thing. Okay, so giving the impression of being mad, distracted, or in a dream world. Yeah, I
in
get
itself
where
is fine, but I think it was often used when we didn't understand things.
Yes, so. Yeah, most likely. That's where most of these monster stories come from.
Yeah.
So like diseases that people thought were people turning into monsters, like porphyria, where some people would get like porphyria with symptoms of like rodent teeth, and your pee turns purple in the sunlight, and you get really pale, and like you bleed sometimes just randomly, and people thought that was people turning into like vampires or werewolves, because you get rodent teeth where they keep growing, so you just have really sharp teeth. That's not part of porphyria. I think that's a separate sickness, but sometimes people got them both, and were like, oh my god, they're turning into a vampire, when they were just like, no mate, I'm ill, like leave me alone. And so what's that word for that? I can see you, Jamie. I can't quite hear you, I don't think.
Yeah.
What is the word for when? So they used to see, like when they used to think people were vampires, they'd dig up their bodies and like check if they were still like growing, if the fingernails had still grown or the hair had still grown. And in most of the cases, they found that the hair was longer than it was when they put them in, and so was their nails.
Ooh, welcome back, Jamie. You are no longer frozen. So.
Fantastic.
But that's not because the bodies were still growing when they were in the grave. It's the fact that the skin dried out and was pulled back, making the hair look longer and the fingernails look longer. Now, what's the word that encapsulates that?
Horrific. What have I just come back to?
Like, what's the word to describe something that people thought was like a supernatural occurrence, but was actually just this thing that happens?
A debunked myth?
I guess myth. I'm looking for myth, aren't I?
Maybe.
I just really like that story.
Yeah.
Because they're like, everyone's a vampire. What's happening in this town? And everyone was like, no, that's just what buddies do. It's just what happens.
Well, I think we've got quite a few good options here.
Yeah.
So we've got a monster metamorphosis, which I am very partial to just because of how it sounds. So misunderstood monsters, monster under the bed, become the monster, everyday monsters sort of, we need to work out how to phrase that, really. And then Henry's like, being transported away to another world, like fairy rings and things like that. So, I feel like I'm leaning towards a monster metamorphosis just because I like it. I'm not sure how great it is, like, as far as prompts go. I just like saying it. So
Yes.
How about becoming a monster or become the monster brackets a monster metamorphosis?
Ooh.
Give people the option.
Fallout Boy title.
That could work.
I quite like that one. I'm still very, very much hyped about Indifference to the Transmundane, mostly because very proud of myself for remembering that transmundane's a real word. I just love monsters. I think I'm happy to do any of these.
I do want to see some videos on cryptids from Henry at some point.
It's just me howling.
Vlogs. I want to see some vlogs.
Vlog. It's me slowly transforming over the course of 3 days.
I did a long while back kind of start a sort of vlog series about cryptids, didn't I?
It was
Maybe
good.
someday. I did kind of enjoy that. I'd almost completely forgotten because it was probably like 3+ years ago now.
Yeah.
Maybe 4.
It would have been 2015, wasn't it?
Yeah.
4 years.
Out of time.
It's a wacky one.
Right. I think we're probably done with the mind map now, aren't we?
Aye.
Cool. I'm going to fiddle around with the display and get everything full screen again. There's probably a better way to do this. I'm new to OBS. I'm terribly sorry. I don't know what I'm doing. Right, that will probably do. Cool. Right, we are now full screen. Currently on Jamie. Where's my window to access things? There we go. Great. Yes, this will definitely get smoother, and I'm going to do some research and see if I can find something that will work better for the Hangout side of things. Because there's got to be a better way than this.
There must be. It used to be so good.
No, YouTube, why? Why would you do this? It was perfect.
Why?
I really hope that they've done it because they're changing something in the back end and then they're going to reintroduce a thing, because they've done a fair bit recently of this feature's gone, oh no, it's back but in a different form a few months later.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping they just needed to remove it to sort something out and then bring a similar thing back.
Yes.
But if they don't replace it with something, I will be very sad. So
I think people are slowly moving to Twitch because of it.
yeah, I mean, we could always try out doing some stuff on Twitch, but then I've got the same OBS issue, you know, of what I'm sending. So
Yeah.
I've still got to work that out. But
Yeah.
after like discussions about live streaming at Summer in the City, like, oh god, like 2 months ago now. Oh god, time.
Wow.
Yeah, like I think we might try Film Prompt Society Twitch and see if that works a bit better, because I feel like we're more likely to get some random people stumbling across it on Twitch than we are here. Here it's isolated on the channel, no one can find it unless they know it's here. So yeah, we'll probably give that a go. Maybe on the next stream. No, not the very next stream, the one when we talk about the films made for September, which will probably be in about 2 weeks.
Yeah.
So if you haven't done that yet, you need to come up with something. I'm in progress on mine. I've got my stuff that I've been sewing here to give you guys a little behind the scenes, like how it's going sort of thing. So I'm doing another little stop motion and I'm sewing stuff, but this time I'm doing it 2D rather than, because like before I've done like these 3D puppets that I've animated. He lives on my desk permanently. So, but this time I'm going to do something flat with like cutouts. So I've been making some backgrounds for different scenes. So I've got this, which is a bedroom. So he's going to be lying in bed, and then I can place the duvet cover on top.
I like that.
So times like this, I wish I had a sewing machine, because this is just some straight lines. Like this would be so fast with a sewing machine, but I have to do it all by hand. So it's just like, oh. I've got 4 different backgrounds that I'm making at various stages of completion. So when it's done, the thing is, like the actual shooting of the images I need and then editing it together, I could probably do all of that in like a day. and I'm going to spend like 2 weeks doing all this sewing. Like,
do you have anyone you know nearby who has a sewing machine you can borrow?
I do, but I haven't used a sewing machine since high school, and I'm going to need to relearn how to do that. So for the moment, I'm just going to do it by hand. So, because I'm just like, how do you do the stuff with the bobbin? And I don't remember all these things. Like, I know you need to do them, but I don't know. So, yeah. So, have either of you had time to have a think about one for September's prompt, or have you been a bit busy?
I've been busy with the video I've been making. I've been making 2 videos at the same time, which is probably why neither of them have been finished yet. Yeah, the poetry one, and then one's to do with an SO lang that I'm not allowed to say on this stream because it's got a cuss in it. It's got a big cuss in it.
We can go with the like the PG-13 like 12 rating system where you're allowed 1 F-bomb in a 12
Bruce
film.
Almighty's allowed to say F one time.
So you could probably get away with 1 swear and we're fine. So
can I say it right now?
Yeah,
Am I allowed to say it?
Yeah, that's fine. Go for it.
The language is called brain fuck. It's good. It's very good. I'm sorry, I cussed everyone. It's like instant 12A.
Yeah.
The year 8's watching this video in their German lesson when at the end of the year when the German teacher just can't be bothered teaching them. They're all shocked.
Yeah. We had that moment in school. We watched Bruce Almighty one year. And yeah, the teacher completely forgot that there's a big F-bomb in the middle of that.
It's to you.
The look on her face. The look on her face at that moment.
That or when all the kids are singing the Monty Python Always Look on the Bright Side of Life bit on the bus. And then the teachers are singing along until they suddenly realize that word's about to come up. And then all the kids scream it out.
It's like, we're allowed to say it. It's in the song.
And the teacher goes, bright red.
Yeah.
That's a horror story in of itself.
Jamie, have you had any thoughts on September's prompt? Which was self-destruction versus self-improvement, which we didn't say.
Yes. I do have kind of a script for it, as usual. I have a lot of little scripts, especially for FPS things. Whether or not they ever end up finished is a different question. But yeah, I do have something for that. I don't know what yours is about exactly. Mine kind of explores the line of when too much efforts towards self-improvement can become more self-destructive. And also sort of if you associate self-improvement with someone or something that's no longer in your life, can that be destructive? That's kind of the angle I'm exploring in that, or trying to, if I make it.
Cool.
Thank you. Yeah, so we'll see how that goes. It might even have a little cover song in it, because I was listening to music when I thought of it. It was like, it would be really cool if I could have this song, but I can't have this song. I mean, I guess I could, but it would just, I don't have a monetized channel anyway, so it wouldn't really matter. But
yeah, it's unlikely they take the video down. Normally they just want the money from it, and if it's not monetized, then it's all fine. So yeah, mine is like about the mundanity of everyday life and trying to break out of that sort of being in a rut. So yeah, visually it's kind of inspired by that gif from SpongeBob where the guy is in the car and then at work and like it just, the background changes. That's,
I see what you're going for there.
Yeah. So that's my vibe. It's SpongeBob and gifs, but it's what came to mind, and I was like, you know what? Even this, though this is a silly idea, I'm just gonna do it. So yeah, but it should be fun, and hopefully it'll look really cute when it's done. So though I haven't designed the character yet, he's in it. I've just got like in all my sketches, it's just a stick man. So yeah, but he will be made out of felt. The idea is that he's going to be a really bright coloured, bold felt, and then the background's a slightly more muted tone, so he should stand out, fingers crossed. But yeah, I really need to get on this because I haven't done any sewing on it in like nearly best part of a week now, because I think Friday was the last day I did any work on the sewing. I've been working on chilled out game review stuff because I'm in the progress of making another channel for that and branching off my stuff. So now I'm the thing. I keep taking. I'm always like, oh, I don't want to take on too much stuff, and now I'm like, right, I'm running Jules Ender, Film Prompt Society, and now Chilled Out Games. As separate channels, as well as all the rest of my life stuff. So yeah, busy.
I think, I don't know exactly how many people watching normally have ideas for prompts, but if they're anything like me, they'll have maybe an idea every other prompt and then not necessarily execute it. So, and I've been there as well plenty of times, but it's probably not going to be my priority for this week. But if I do start work on the film, then I'll try and share progress in the server and see, you know, how the whole process goes, help anybody out who hasn't done it before or hasn't done it in a while. And if I have points at which I stumble or give up on making the film, then I'll share that too. And maybe it'll help people. I don't know. It would be nice to get people back involved because we've all had kind of a long break. It's been a few months since the last prompt. And it's just nice to see people creating things, whether or not they even get finished. So just join in, start, share what you're thinking and what you're working on.
Yeah. Like, although the prompt that we did before we kind of had a bit of a break, the collaborative one, even though in the end a lot of people had ideas and started things, nobody actually submitted anything. I still like the idea of trying to do another collaborative one, although that was a bit of a failed test. Because we talked at the time about maybe doing something that was like a murder mystery and everyone's making something from a different character's perspective or something like that, and you need to watch all of them to understand the full story. I still really like the idea of doing that. So at some point, I would love to do something along those lines, but it is going to require quite a lot of coordination between a group of people. So whether it's realistic at the moment, I don't know. But I love the idea of having like, a little murder mystery across a load of channels. So...
Has everybody here seen, kind of on that note, Joel Blundell's Halloween video from last year, his 360-degree musical murder mystery?
It's a very good video.
Fantastic.
And I love that was collaborative as well.
It was, yes. He got people to send in art for that. Yes.
They put in the dragon that I drew in 2012.
Yes, everybody check out Joel Blundell's Halloween video from last year for some inspiration.
Yes.
Plenty of monsters in there. Whole cast full of them.
I like collaborative work like that on YouTube that isn't... Because so much of what people think of as collaborations is just a couple of people sitting in the same room talking about a topic, which is what the majority of YouTube collaborations tend to be. But yeah, you get some really interesting stuff like that where people get people to contribute certain aspects and build things up in a different way. And I think there's a lot of potential on YouTube to do some really cool, weird stuff. So, yeah. So, shall we wrap this stream up then, since we've kind of finished what we were here to do. So
yeah.
So what?
Did we decide on?
Yeah, which one are we going to like lock down as the idea? So I'm going to shrink down us again. There we go. So we have. I mean, I kind of like the idea of it being become the monster : a monster metamorphosis, like a B-movie horror movie title. Like...
Yeah. I like that too, to be honest. Yeah.
But then, yeah, I do like Henry's whole, like, mundane, everyday monster. I just can't think how to make that a snappy little prompt.
Have we done something like that before? I'm not sure if we have, but because I can't even think of all of the prompts we've done.
No, I don't think we've done something... Like, the scary thing we did last year was My Biggest Fear.
Yes.
Okay.
And I don't think we've done something that's like, about...
Yeah. Jules' film was kind of in response to that prompt, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think he used the line, "My biggest fear has been realized." So Carry on. I'd forgotten.
Yeah. I mean, I kind of feel like this whole, mundanity, indifference sort of thing, we could have a think on that, and maybe that could be next month's prompt in some form. Because I'm sure there's a lot of ways you could take that of...
And I guess that kind of works as like the hangover from Halloween. Like, it's like, oh, the spooky stuff has happened, and now there's just monsters here, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
like that.
So we could do this as Become the Monster. Frankenstein Teen Become the Monster.
I've just realised we haven't even touched on the real horror coming October 31st.
It's not. This is a Brexit-free zone. This channel.
What's Brexit?
I didn't say the word. I didn't say the word.
You say it 3 times, and Brexit comes out the mirror and kills you.
And on that note,
right. So, what have we decided on? Which one are we going with?
Become the Monster, a monster metamorphosis.
Yeah. Cool. All right. So the prompt for October is Become the Monster, a monster metamorphosis, and that should hopefully come up with some weird stuff. I'm hoping for some weird stuff. It feels like a really good excuse to try out some effects, whether it's using After Effects or monster makeup or something. I feel like that's a good opportunity to push ourselves in the effects world. I think we shall leave the stream there. So thank you both for joining me on this stream. Thank you anyone who's watching for putting up with the way that this has been displayed. Hopefully we will have a slightly better format for the next stream. Right, so hopefully I can also work out how to stop streaming since everything has changed in YouTube. But thank you very much for joining us, and we will hopefully be streaming again in the next week or 2. Right.
Thank you.
Bruce Willis dies at the end. He's dead the whole time.
Thank you. Hopefully that didn't come through.